back to my channel. I'm Mama Dr. Jones, and today we are doing part 2 of a Q&A/assumption of your questions from Instagram. Was I scared to give birth? Am I super mom who doesn't need sleep? Do I love Target? I am a big fan of Philip Franco, as most of you know, and he's been threatening to throat punch people if they don't like this video. I've got nothing. I'm gonna ask you questions like I do the medical students if you don't like this video. There you go. Now we can be like Philly D. I'm threatening you with intellectual violence. I'm gonna ask you about STD treatment if you don't hit that like button. I'm gonna pimp you about postpartum hemorrhage. So smash that like button so we... I can't do it. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you don't like the video, I don't know why you're watching, but thanks for being here. And if you'd like to see more of videos that you don't like, then you can subscribe to this video that you didn't like. I'm done. Let's just go answer the questions. Okay, here's a good one. You are not high maintenance in terms of your beauty and hair routine. For example, you won't even notice that your last haircut was not done as well as it usually was. I'm gonna one-up you on that and say that I don't even remember when my last haircut was. I definitely haven't had my haircut since Pax was born, and he's 7 months old. Becky509 says, do you remember the first time each of your kids laughed? I remember the first time the twins laughed, and I have a video of it. If I can find it, I'll include it. It's super cute. Get your foot. Get your foot. Get your toes. I don't specifically remember the first time that Milo laughed, and I don't think I specifically remember the first time that Pax laughed. It's also kind of a, I don't know, it's not like just one day they're not laughing and one day they are. The twins, it was just obvious, like they weren't really doing anything, and then that day they just kind of giggled and they both did on the same day. It was so cute, but probably not. I don't really remember it. That's bad. Is that bad? I don't know. It's not bad. Get rid of the mom guilt. What can you do? If I had a little something to write down like, hey, they laughed today and it was easy and minimalistic, then that would be really nice. Hey, great idea, MDJ. Why don't you make an app that does something like that? Not spilling any beans, but we might be working on something cool, you guys. I will keep you updated. She assumes that Target is my happy place. I am very happy in Target. Now, leaving Target, I'm not very happy because when I leave Target, my bank account is empty every time. It doesn't matter if I just drive by Target. If I see it, my bank account drains. It's like I don't even have to stop. So I've had to change my entire route because I was just losing money to Target on my way to pick up groceries. I love Target. I do love Target. You stay very calm when the kids are sick. This depends. Let me tell you a story. So when the twins were like 18 months old, it was our first trip that we had taken with them while I was a resident, and I was a second-year resident, and we went on a cruise, and Amelia was getting off of an elevator, so the doors were ones that like go like this, and I wasn't watching what she was doing as the doors opened because I was like worrying about getting us all off the elevator, and she put her hand on the door as it was opening like this. Yeah, and it sucked her hand into the elevator door, and it was stuck there. And so in my brain, I thought like, oh my God, it's crushing her hand. It's gonna cut her fingers off. I don't know. And she was screaming, obviously, because she's an 18-month-old and her hand's stuck in an elevator. And so I was like, I panicked. I thought I was gonna get her hand out of the door or not get her hand out of the door. I didn't know if we'd get it out at all. And I like panicked. Reese had run off the elevator, so Donnie went chasing her because she's an 18-month-old on a cruise ship by herself. So he went to grab her, and some guy on the elevator, bless him, helped us like pull the door like that so that I could get her hand out. And her hand was blue and she was screaming, and I was like, oh my gosh, like she has internal damage. She's gonna get compartment syndrome in her hand, and we're on a cruise ship in the middle of the Caribbean, and oh my God, what will I do? And I definitely wasn't calm with that. I like ran her down the stairs, and then we held her down for an x-ray, and long story short, all was fine. It didn't break her hand. It was just very bruised the next day, and she was okay. But I have certainly had my moments of panic as a parent. When the kids just have like a viral illness or something like that, for the most part, I do pretty good. I deal markedly better with other people's emergencies than I do with my own emergencies or my children's emergencies. Ever wished you chose a less demanding specialty or less call heavy specialty? No, I love my specialty. I absolutely love what I do. I wouldn't change it for the world. Now, I think that this question, overlying this question, is the assumption that as an OBGYN, you don't have a choice in your call frequency or how demanding your job is. And you do. You can choose your job. You might have to be willing to compromise on how much you get paid or where you're living, but you can choose your job. And I feel like my call schedule right now is appropriate for me. So I feel like I know I could get into a situation where I might regret that, but I wouldn't let myself do that because I have the foresight to set boundaries that I know will keep me from hopefully burning out before I'm old enough that I want to stop doing this completely. You were more scared than other women to give birth because you know the risks. I don't know. So as a medical student, when I had my twins, I was completely like, I think I knew enough to be terrified, especially after I found out that it was twins, but not enough to be rational. And so that pregnancy was really scary. And then with Milo, I just sailed along. Like I felt like, oh yeah, all is good. We're perfect. No big deal. And then I had a major complication during delivery with him. I've talked about that, I think, at the end of my Call the Midwife video. And then I also wrote a blog about his birth story. And so after that, my pregnancy with Pax, I did have quite a bit of anxiety, but I feel like I'm able to rationalize it. So although I see all of these things that can go wrong, and I certainly would find myself sometimes falling into this pit of worry and anxiety. Scared is probably not the right word. I had some fears that probably women who don't work in this field would never ever have. And then I also probably had a little bit less anxiety about things that people really commonly worry about that I knew were either out of my control totally or were just not worth spending any time worried about. I know you're a great mom. Thank you. The fact that you guys think that and it comes through in what I do on the internet like makes my heart happy. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Brooklyn CC, I assume that many people during medical school told you not to have kids. That is a valid assumption. I feel like the culture of medicine is not so much like don't have kids. It's more like implied. It's not overt, although I know there have definitely been people who've been in situations where it was overt. I definitely had a lot of people who told me not to go into a surgical specialty or not to go into OBGYN if I wanted to have a family. But as far as people saying outright don't have kids, I don't think I really experienced that. Now, people would give their interjected opinions about when to have kids, when not to have kids, all of these things, which is fine if you ask for that opinion, but probably not fine if you don't ask for it. Overlying culture is quietly telling you don't have kids until you're done with training. And obviously I was like, can't hear you, and we've done fine. On that note, I need to make a whole video about how I feel like having my kids before I went to residency or during residency and during residency. I did both, and during practice I've done that too. Trifecta. Pregnancy trifecta, medical school, residency, attending. I feel like it helped me actually be better at balancing, and I'll tell you about that in another video, but basically like I've always had to balance, and I feel like it would have been a lot harder to switch if I had gotten out into practice and just thrown myself into my career like I know I would have if I didn't have kids. Like I would have been working lots and lots of hours, and I feel like it would have been a lot harder to pull back, to scale back, than it was to just long-term scale that from the beginning. So I don't know. I'm happy with my decision. It was a good decision for me. It's definitely not a good decision for everybody. Do you think that mom gut is always right? No, definitely not. I certainly like women to listen to their bodies and listen to their gut. However, our guts also worry about things that we shouldn't worry about, and they also get convinced of things that are not true. When I was pregnant with the twins, we didn't find out if they were boys or girls until they were born, and I was convinced they were boys, like 100%. I guess maybe I wavered a little on baby A, but I knew baby B was a boy. Like I knew. I bought him baby boy clothes, and I knew he was a boy. And surprise, they're both girls. And so yeah, I think either my mom gut just really sucks or it might not be right all the time. But I do think, especially in pregnancy, I put a lot of value into what women tell me. If they're, if someone seriously comes to me and says, I just have a really bad feeling about this or that, like, I think there's something to be said for just having an instinctual feeling about something, and you should listen to that and look at it from all angles. But at the same time, as moms, we also have to be able to let go of some of that and, you know, approach things rationally, which can be hard. Dr. Tiffany Joy, you are super mom and don't need sleep. I need so much sleep. I get plenty of sleep, and all of you always seem to be worried about how much sleep I get. I get plenty of sleep. I mean, I would love to get more sleep, but I get plenty of sleep. I wish I could get consistent sleep, like go to sleep and sleep 8 hours. I don't think in 6 years I have gone to sleep and slept 8 hours 2 nights in a row in the whole 6 years. Like, I haven't done that. But I need about 7 hours of sleep a night. It's always broken either from work or from the kids, but I get a good amount of sleep. I'm not a napper. When I was younger, like in medical school, before I had kids, I would take naps, but I don't take naps anymore. Like, I can't take naps in the daytime. This is me in the daytime most of the time. If I was like up all night the night before working, then yeah, I can take a nap the next day, but I have trouble laying down and taking a nap now, but I am not super mom, and I definitely need sleep. And this lighting is very overexposed, sorry. Kimmy Thingy says that she assumes I'm not done adding to my beautiful family. First off, thank you. My children are quite beautiful. I would definitely agree with that. And whether or not we're done, I don't know, guys. I am not committing to yes or no. At this current moment in time, I do not want to be pregnant, but would we want to have another baby at some point? I don't know. I'm very plus or minus. We don't know. I am not committing to yes or no at this point, but I don't want a baby now. Thank you guys for tuning in, asking great questions, and I hope you learned something about me and my family today. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. If you haven't liked this video after my begging at the beginning, like this video. Be kind to yourself, to each other, to me, in the comments. Be kind, and I will see you next time.